See, every one of these sites here looks like it could be bush hogged, and they're all empty. So we just checked in here at Fort Pickens, and this is June the 26th, 2020. And so they do have the new rule about the size limits on your campers. And so my pop-up is about 20 foot, and plus our van. And then, which we were grandfathered in before they changed the rules. But my dad has got a 24 foot trailer style camper and a 4-door F-150, and they didn't give him any trouble as far as they basically just tell you, hey, if you're hanging out in the road, you've got to take your car to overflow parking, which is at Battery Worth, or they have some overflow down on Loop E. So it really wasn't a big deal. They didn't make it a big deal, and they didn't come out and check our campers or any of that stuff. So just to give you a tidbit on that. So here's the old camp store that no longer is open. At least it hasn't been open this week, just sits vacant. Used to be able to get ice and all other goodies there, but not no more. There's the camp post right there, right across from our campsite. So guys, I want y'all to consider, if you're coming to Fort Pickens, I really debated about making this because I claim to be a Christian. I want to love on folks, but these folks down here is like a pile of ants. There's about 4 or 5 camp posts down here at Fort Pickens, and I believe their whole goal is to make everybody's trip as awful as their experience here. Sure. I've been hassled by every one of these camp posts. Not that I was out doing donuts in the road. First time, you cannot pull into your campsite. You have to back in. If you're not backed into your campsite, then they're gonna get onto you. I mean, they'll watch you like hawks. So you have to back into your campsite. That way you don't run over little kids. And if your car doesn't fit, or if your tire's hanging off, or watch out, little kid, don't run on me. Or if you're hanging out in the road or whatever, if it doesn't fit, you've got to go park and overflow parking. So first time I had my van pulled in straight, I got to turn it around. All right, turn it around. Well, then my dad come over to visit. My dad pulls up, and before my dad could even walk to my camper, he parked on the edge of the road. And here come the camp host. He come over. Hey, sir, you can't park here. You got to move. All right. So then I was gonna go park at overflow parking. Took a little bit of a little bit of shortcut into an area that was supposed to be a one-way, but maybe it was 50 feet over to the overflow instead of making the big loop to go around to come in the right direction. After and one of them seen me, boy, she chewed me out, flagged me down, told me not to do it no more. All right. And then a different camp post just now, we pulled in to go to the beach, and so we have to pull into our camp spot. It's kind of sideways
to load the cart
in order to load the van, because it's so tight you don't have enough room. And so we pull in sideways to put the fishing cart on the van, get all the stuff in the luggage in the back. And no sooner than we pull in and stop and get out of the car, here comes one of the camp posts. Sir, I'm gonna talk to you about your vehicle. I said, ma'am, I already know. I can't be parked sideways. I said, but the only way I can get that fishing buggy and that cargo rack on that van is to park it either in the middle of the road or park sideways in my drive. And she said, I know, but you can't be parked sideways. I said, ma'am, I understand that. I said, but I can't get it on. I said, I said I can't get in here any other way. If I back in, I can't open my hatch because it hits the camper. And they hassle you about everything. I'm telling you, they're like hawks. Every one of them. I've dealt with 4 of them so far, and every one of them have not been a good experience. And I'm usually an easy person to get along with. For one, they don't
string it up in light.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's another thing they got on to me about. Can't put anything in the trees. 0 things in the trees. I hung up. I mean, and it's not like I cut down 3 limbs to do it. I had paracord attached to my string lights that I take down every time. I'm not going to leave any string behind. But I just hung. It was hanging on 2 limbs, 2 big old oak limbs, is all I had it touching, and around a big pine tree. I had my Christmas lights I had strung around the outside of the property, and I bet it wasn't 10 minutes. Here comes the camp host. Of course, he lives right across from me. Hey, so here he comes. Sir, I just hate to be a bearer of bad news. He said, but you're gonna have to take them Christmas lights down. I said, man, it's just all right. Well, you just can't. Don't kill me. He said, I'm not the one. I just had to bring the message. I'm like, all right. And so by now I'm done mad. So I said, well, so that my neighbor across the way, he's parked sideways in his drive. I said, sir. I said, well, what about this fella? I said, that's illegal too, ain't it? Parked sideways. Well, yeah, it is, but it's kindly a gray area. I said, no, it ain't no gray area. I said, he can't be parked sideways. Oh yeah, I said he could probably win that argument. Said he could be angled a little bit and just be facing forward, and he could be just fine. And so they just really it's hard to really enjoy your trip when you got somebody watching over, and everything you do just gonna be ridiculed about. And so
it's not just campers. We no longer have a camp store.
Yeah, so you no longer have a camp store down at the fort. So if you have to get any ice or anything, you have to drive all the way back out. The toll bridge is on the bridge going into Gulf Breeze. So the toll is only $1, but if you need ice, you could go to the store. But Walmart, the bait shop, a lot of you good restaurants are in Gulf Breeze, or either that they're over in Pensacola. And it's a 25-mile speed limit. There's no pool. It's a $40. It's like $45 a day for a campsite. They don't have pool hookups. They have water, electricity.
Oh, bathhouses aren't it?
Oh yeah. Another thing, the bathhouses are not air conditioned, so
or kept up, really.
They're not kept up either. And so one of the bathhouses looked like somebody had shaved their head and the rest of their body, and the amount of hair that was in the floor of the drain. The other two bathhouses, they're so hot and humid that when you take a bath, you just sweat. You can't hardly even get your clothes on when you get done. And then they've got the water is so hot, even when you turn it on, you can't get no cold water out of there. And they got these little old jet stream nozzles that mounted
to the wall.
Yeah, mounted to the wall, and so they're it's like you're in a prison cell. You can't tamper with them or nothing. And you turn them on, and it comes like a jet stream out of there, and it's scalding hot, and it's humid in there.
And you're touching the wall.
Yeah, you have to touch the wall to get up there to shower off. And then and do it in a dirty shower. And we got 6 kids, and you're trying to keep them out, quit touching that hair, get out of that drain, get your clothes off the floor. There's a lot of things they could have done. These are new shower houses, probably 5 or 6 years old. They could have put air conditioning in these things.
Oh, when you wash the clothes, you're only allowed to have them in the washing machine 30 minutes so the camp host can take them out. And you can only have them in the dryer 45 minutes so the camp host will remove them.
Yeah, and I guarantee you should be timing when you walk in the door. And then let's say all the tall grass. All right, so there's mosquitoes and bugs. We seen a cockroach as big as my thumb, and then we assumed it could have come with us from North Alabama, but and then I also seen 2 big old rats that were out back our camper this afternoon after it rained, but the tall grass, we seen several campsites that were completely empty, and the camp host, as many of them as it is, could have got out there and mowed and weed eated this campsite before the new people come in, because once you come in and set up, even if somebody comes in and mows, they can't mow around your campsite. All they did was walk over and pick up trash, and they left. And the grass is ankle deep. Now granted, it's thin, so it's not as thick as you might think, but it's still tall, and mosquitoes will get in there and lay eggs, and it just itches your ankles and stuff when you walk, and it's just kind of, you're paying $45, almost $50 a night. Come on, mow the grass. There was a guy next to the camp host. My mama heard it with her own ears. This guy that was living next to the camp host, he got out weed eating because his grass was so tall, and the camp host said, well, it's the least I can do is to get out, is to go ahead and mow your grass. And so he got out and mowed his yard and his neighbor's yard. And so I'm telling you guys, with these new size restrictions, you gotta have your camper backed in, and your vehicle's got to be backed in. And if it doesn't fit on the site, they haven't they haven't kicked, you know, not that I know of, they haven't kicked anybody off, but I guarantee you they give you a hard time about it. And with all these size restrictions and all these new rules, and whew, I made a vow. I will never be back at Fort Pickens. This is absolutely going to be my last trip. Gulf State Park has just got a lot more to offer. A lot nicer sites. The sites are larger. They got a pool, a splash pad. So just think about this. Do your own research. Look it up. See what other folks have made these posts. I wasn't gonna do this, but man, they just, every time I turn around, they pushing my buttons about it. So do your research. Hopefully this place will become like a vacant wasteland. There won't be anything down here but a bunch of sand, and these folks will just have to move on and go somewhere else. Maybe they won't go to Gulf State Park and start working. So see you guys.